I think I've thanked everyone. If I've forgotten anyone, I apologise. And I'd like to see everyone back in Cork tomorrow night. Lads, we've one man I forgot. Our logistics man, Mick Compton. Lads, you see that? The players all cheer. He's like the second forward to every one of us. He's unreal. He does everything for the team. Special round of applause to Mick. Thanks very much, lads. You see you back in Cork tomorrow night.
So the Sam Maguire Cup is heading back down to Cork. Well, they've had heartbreak years. We know about 07, about 09, where they lost those two finals. But they've come good today. This has been a project which has been in the making for a number of years for all of these players. They've come good. They are the 2010 All-Ireland football champions.
Well, Sam Maguire was a Cork man himself, of course, from Dunmanway, and I have no doubt that the Cup is going to make a visit down there over the next couple of days or weeks. The rain is teeming down here, as you can see at Croke Park, but none of the Cork players or their fans are going to feel that right now. It's a good feeling to be the All-Ireland champions. Colin O'Rourke, I'm sure you want to add your congratulations to Cork and the performance that they put in the second half.
Absolutely, the gun was put to the Cork players' head. They were 4 points behind at one stage in the second half. I'm delighted, a bit like Pat, for the likes of Graham Canty and Nicholas Murphy and Anthony Lynch and Derek. Like, they've been proper warriors for Cork over a 10-year period.
And as you said at half-time, you may not be seeing some of them again.
Yes, and they can drift off into the sunset now. They have their All-Ireland and richly deserved. I'm delighted for them as individual and as player, and for Conor Coonahan, a proper football man as well as manager, modest, unassuming sort of fella. It's nice to see him getting a reward. But I said before the game, Cork needed heroes, and in fairness, they had the heroes today. Daniel Goulding was a hero, and Donnacha O'Connor, who I said at half-time maybe should even be taken off, was brilliant in the second half. And Kieran Sheehan and men like that. And when Canty came on, it must have been a risk, but he brought a bit of composure to the Cork team. So, you know, the honours go where they deserve, but Down contributed richly to a fabulous sporting occasion and a great football contest.
They were transformed in the second half. And in fact, you know, eventually the sheer weight of possession in the second half they started to play. I thought they played excellently in the second half. It's the best half of football that they played.
You were writing them off at half-time.
Well, that was a bit of a mischief in that,
yeah,
you know.
I know that, yes, but in fairness,
he was writing them off.
I can kind of see why you were, because tactically they were all over the place. But as Colin said, it needed heroes, and they had them.
Well, I think that, you know, they totally outplayed Down in the second half, and for a 12-minute spell when they outscored Down 7-1. I mean, they moved the ball along. They did all the things that we thought that they weren't going to do.
And they did.
And in fairness to them, you know, they do. You don't always get what you deserve, but they richly deserved that today. It was a great victory, and it'll bring great joy to them because they've had such terrible.
Park here, a proud Cork woman, and obviously she's delighted.
No, that's her nephew.
Noel O'Leary.
Noel O'Leary's
her nephew.
And it's great to see Noel getting a medal. In fairness, you know, we have put a few barbs into Noel at different times over the last few years. But one thing about him, you always get 100%, a completely wholehearted effort. At times today, I actually thought he was unfairly treated with some of the tackles on Marty Clark, but he stuck at it. And you know, now he can look back at an All-Ireland.
I think we should make the point as well about Conor Coonahan. It's been an incredible fortnight for Conor because he's been manager of the Cork team through a period when he lost his brother unfortunately last week, Pat, and so that's obviously been a difficult time.
It was indeed, and last year Pat O'Healy, another selector, lost his brother through tragic. Look, these are, I mean, that matches pale into significance when you talk about deaths and bereavements. But look, today was a day for leaders. I said in the last 15 minutes against Dublin, I saw signs that there was leadership and there was composure, and they had that in abundance in the second half. They had the experience, they've learned from the failures, and they had a subs bench that was much stronger to come on, and like I said, richly deserved.
Because the thing about this, Colin O'Rourke, it's not that Down rolled over or anything in the second half. No. Cork made the comeback, they brought the game back to level. Down twice brought the game back to them again.
Absolutely, but the sheer weight of possession, you know, determined the outcome of the game. I think that the kickouts were won by Cork by something like 3-1. A total domination in the middle third of the pitch. So despite the fact that you had Mark Poland sniping an odd point and Daniel Hughes, who was marvellous all through, you know, the weight of possession actually told me.
And I also...
Can we take a bit of credit as well? Because the one thing we've been harping on about this Cork team, particularly over the last couple of matches, that if they ditch their slow, ponderous build-up and move the ball quick and long into the full foul line, that they'd win the All-Ireland. Well, do you know, they took that on board today.
They did, and another thing that happened as well, and it just goes to show you can never sort of plan these things.
I think it's stretching it a bit for us to take credit for it.
I'm going to take it anyway.
They brought on Graham Canty in the second half, right? Tony Davis was here with us. He wasn't sure was this a right move. He thought this was playing a psychological
two things, Michael. He provided leadership, but he brought that calming influence to the thing. And you know, every time he was in possession, that Canty was in possession, he never wasted one single ball.
The key to it was that around the middle of the field, Down simply couldn't get their hands on the ball. I mean, Martin Clark didn't win a break on the ball all day. I mean, it was eventually just that overwhelming possession was converted. And in fairness to Cork, they did really start to play with a spring in their step in the second half. And things that I didn't think I'd see, like Donoghue O'Connor scoring marvellous points, and Daniel Goulding, in fairness, his frees were absolutely impeccable.
That's the Rock.
Chairman O'Sullivan, the Rock, of course, won his All-Irelands with the Cork Hurlers, and he's emotional as well.
And played full forward for the Cork footballers for 1 year as well.
That's great.
Maybe that's an explanation why they were struggling for a while.
In the end, too, what happened was Cork started to get at the weaknesses in the Down team. We did pinpoint beforehand. The down full back line was a bit of a problem. Dan Gordon was a converted midfielder, and Dan Gordon had a lot of trouble with Donoghue O'Connor in the second half, and Damien Rafferty was taken off. So the weaknesses in the down full back line were exposed through this sheer weight of possession that Cork had.
Also, I think that if in fairness, looking at the game in the first half, Cork should have been probably 4 or 5 points ahead, and once they started to convert that domination, I mean, I thought it was a more emphatic victory than the scoreline suggests, really.
And here's another thing I think we should mention, because as we know, the authorities here in Cork are determined to keep the crowd off the field as they did the hurling final, the football final, and seeing the scenes that we're seeing here, and seeing something like Graham Canty have to go down to the supporters.
Michael,
I'm convinced.
Yeah, you're right. I would have been a critic, and I was a traditionalist, and say let the supporters on. But you know, this is.
This is better, isn't it?
It is better,
Let's be honest.
It's a chance for the players.
Well, I totally disagree with you,
it's a chance for the players to deserve the accolades, to get the accolades they deserve, and a chance for the players to mingle amongst themselves and have a chat among. They'll have plenty of time for meeting the families after.
There's an easy solution for all of this. After the initial euphoria, you could have a horseshoe of all the stewards that are there. Let the people on if they want after about 5 minutes. The GAA people will respond. They're very respectful and affectionate. They'll walk onto the pitch, and then the stewards can direct them to the various exits. I just think it looks weird to have 1,000 bouncers there in the GAA doing this for reasons that I can never understand. I mean, we're told
there's an argument each way, I guess.
I don't like those fences. It's sort of not part of the GAA culture.
I'm sure if they get this across the line, the fences will come down.
Yeah, they will come down. The other thing about the fence down there, which I think people are being very critical of, is when it rains, it's almost impossible for people on the lower side of the hill to actually see the game.
That's right.
So there's a bit of a mist on the fence. I'd like to see the fences coming down. I'd like to see give the players 5 or 10 minutes and then let the people stroll onto the pitch.
All right, well, most of the crowd down behind those fences were Cork supporters. I think they do realise Cork actually have won the All-Ireland at this stage. We're going to take a short break here on the programme. More on today's All-Ireland football final straight after that.
Super Value and the GAA Football All-Ireland Championship